Okay, we're here, and this is the second last day of Elim Bible Week, which is really sad, but we've had an amazing time, and I suppose one of the key aspects has just been the presence of God, and within that, the aspect of worship and how the worship team have led us, but also how God has come and met us in that. And today we have Suzanne Hanna, and we're just going to chat a bit with Suzanne. Suzanne is the lead worshipper here, one of them, and we're just going to find out a wee bit about her and explore a few other things. So, Suzanne, thanks for giving up your time.
Thank you.
Can you just tell us a wee bit about yourself, a wee bit of maybe how you became a Christian and how you kind of developed to the point where you are now?
Yeah. Well, I was really blessed to be born into a Christian home. My mum and dad loved Jesus, they loved each other, and they brought me to church, and at home and in church they introduced me to Jesus. And I was 7 when I got saved, and my brother, just the two of us, and he got saved a couple of years later. And so I grew up in the church. I grew up serving in different youth groups with my parents, and then music became a language for me that brought me a lot of joy. I was very shy, but music was a way of communicating and when having fun and making friends. And because I love Jesus and I love music, and I believe He put that love in me, and the two combined, and that has been a really powerful personal journey for me, the role of music and worship and loving Jesus through it. And my journey brought me through school and then into teaching. And in the years that have been, I have worked in Bangor, Elim. I love Bangor, Elim, my home church, and but I've grown up in Elim. I've been in Lisbon, Elim, the Ulster Temple along my years, and it's been amazing to be in the family of Elim and to see what God's doing with worship, and to be here at Bible Week this week and to be worshipping with new faces and some not so new faces, and worshipping with the family of Elim. It's just amazing to hear the sound that's coming up from Elim in Ireland.
Yeah, good. And I guess one of the things that I pick up, we've known each other for a while, but with yourself, there's a real sensitivity to the Holy Spirit and to being led by God, and that hasn't just come from, you haven't just stepped on the piano and that's happened. You've kind of learned that, you know what I mean? You've learned how to be sensitive to God over years. How's that developed within you?
I think listening to God is the primary thing. And years and years ago, before I went off, I used to sing with the Continentals, which is like a singing choir, and it had a really profound effect on me, going away with a big group of young kids and being thrown into an environment where we were going into churches of all different ranges and singing and worshipping. And my mum gave me a little Bible verse, and it had a little plaque on it, and it said, "In all things, He has the preeminence." And I knew I had to go and look up the word preeminence was, because I didn't understand. I was about 13 or 14, and I looked it up, and just understanding that He has to come first in everything. In my relationships, in my work, in my family, in how I do my life, He has to come first. So for me, it's very natural. But then it comes into my music, and it's not music anymore, it's worship, because my whole life is worship. So that Jesus comes first, and listening for His voice. And there are those moments in worship where you're going, Father, where do you want to take us right now? And it's letting Him lead, and it takes a great sense of a burden off you, because you think, I've got to get the right song, but actually no, He knows what He wants to do with His people and with His church in those moments of worship. So it's just being really quiet and listening. And that's hard because life can be very noisy. So it's been really trying to be disciplined. Don't do it always right, but I'm trying. It's
a learning process, isn't it?
Yeah.
But good. And so tell us, you've mentioned a wee bit about the ministry that you're involved in now, but there's also kind of a wider range of things that you're involved in. You want to tell us a wee bit about that?
Yes, well, over the last few years, nationally within Elim, they've been really investing in the role of worship, and those folks who are out there right now worshiping in their churches. And Elim Sound has been developed, and nationally that is the collection of, there's 4 lead guys who are taking it up, brilliant fellas, and they have been bringing together worshippers from different areas all across the UK. And over the last couple of years we've met together and we've been networking nationally and then regionally, to try and pull together ways of inspiring and equipping and networking the movement nationally, regionally and locally. So last year we released an album called Fresh Mercy, which you can get through Mission, you can get on the Elim sites, and hopefully you should be able to get it in your church as well. And then the end of this month, on the 30th of July, the new album's coming out, Sound of Hope. So it's really exciting because it was wonderful to be a part of that recording and to see what's happening in our movement all over. But then to be here this week and hear what Elim sounds like here in Ireland, it's so exciting, you know, because we all sound so different, but together, oh, it's awesome.
And I'm right in saying you feature one of the tracks.
Yeah, a couple of the songs, but it's just amazing to lend your voice to the collective sound of what Elim's doing. That's what's important.
So you'll hear a few Northern Irish twang.
Possibly no, not at all.
Good,
not
good.
At all.
Okay, so Elim Bible Week in Ireland. Tell us maybe some of your highlights, some of the things that you've been going on. Obviously, there's a team there. You know, maybe about 20 or so
yes,
there.
There are.
Yeah, tell us a wee bit about Elim Bible Week this year.
Yeah, these guys are just amazing. It was just a real privilege to be invited to be a part of what's happening now. And as Hillsborough Bible Week, we heard last night from Pastor Jimmy about the heritage that's brought to this event, you know. And some of those guys that are on the team have been on the journey so far, you know. And we've been meeting now for about 4 or 5 months, initially with the band and then with the singers. And these guys come from right across Elim. And I'm excited. It's just been amazing. God has far exceeded our expectations of what we had hoped would happen here. You know, it's a challenge because we wanted everybody to come and feel absolutely that they had a part to play, that there were songs that they could sing, but also to hear something new that they could bring back to their church. So I really pray that we've been sensitive enough to find the balance, you know, and it's just been amazing. It's been amazing to hear the old and the young just all together.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
So maybe for some of the guys that are listening, and your desire has been very much to coordinate with as far as Elim Sound is concerned. How can people contact you about that? I know you've been in contact with them, but maybe there's a few out there maybe haven't made contact. How can they do that?
Well, at the moment, if you contact the main Elim in Ireland email address, it'll be on their site if you come through them, and they will redirect anything to myself. And at the moment, we're really trying to get ourselves set up more streamlined locally, but your worship pastors or your worship leaders should know about it. And if you're a fledgling musician out there or singer and you want to know more, check out the Elim Sound Facebook page, the national page, and then there'll be more coming from that over the next few months. So we're still in the early stages almost locally, but there's so much is happening across the movement nationally at the moment. So and this event has been amazing. You know, this has truly been an encounter with God this weekend. There's 2 more nights.
Yeah. Good. And we will take this opportunity just to say once again that seriously, if you have not been here, you've missed out. But there is, obviously we're coming up to tonight if you're on your way, but tomorrow 11 o'clock and 7:30, don't miss out, please, for the sake of you and for your church. Get them along and come along. 11 o'clock and 7:30. Thank you. Thanks, Suzanne.
Thank you.